Hello students, I am Sandhya Rathod from Param Guru Pathshala English Medium School, Sarsa. Today I am going to discuss one of the chapter from Standard 9th Beehive book, and the name of the chapter is The Sound of Music Part 2. And in this part 2, today I am going to discuss the Sehnai of Bismillah Khan. Now here Bismillah Khan was a legend, okay? He had brought achievements for India, and that's why today we people are remembering him. Now let's go ahead with the chapter. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Now here Aurangzeb, he was a Mughal. He had banned the pungi in the royal residence. Why he had banned the pungi? Just because it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Many times they are asking questions in your exam that why did Aurangzeb ban the pungi? So why did he ban? Just because it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Pungi became the generic name for red noise makers. Now generic means a name given to a class or a group as a whole, and that's why it is also known as noise makers. Noise makers means earlier pungi was a generic name for red noise makers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived, as Aurangzeb had banned the pungi. So few only thought, only some people were thinking that it will one day revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace and decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. Now a barber family, okay, who was a professional musicians, means they were musicians and they were playing to the royal palace, and they have decided that one day we will improve the tonal quality of the pungi. Now tonal quality means the sound of the pungi, so they have decided that we will improve the tonal quality of the pungi. So for that, what that person had done, he chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi. So that person has decided, or that person has taken one pipe, and that was a natural hollow stem. Hollow stem means that pipe was empty from the inside, and that was longer and broader than the pungi. What he had done, he had made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. That on that pipe he had made 7 holes. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. Now what that person had done, that person had taken one pipe. On that pipe he had made 7 holes, and closing and opening of that 7 holes, that sounds were produced, and the sound was melodious. Okay, it was a pleasant sound. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. Before royalty means in a royal court. So that person had played that instrument before royalty and everyone got surprised, everyone got impressed, just because it was a pungi, and pungi was producing unpleasant sound, whereas this instrument played melodious sound. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. Now can you see the picture of pungi and sehnai? It is different, okay? Pungi is different, even this one is also different. So that person decided that let me give a new name. Okay, that barber has decided that let me give a new name to this instrument. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah chambers and was played by a nai, means barber, the instrument was named the sehnai. So it was played first in Shah chamber. So that's why first S-H-E-H, seh, okay, it is from Shah, and nai means barber, and that's why this instrument got a name sehnai. The sound of the sehnai began to be considered auspicious. Auspicious means which bring good fortune. Okay, so the sound of this pungi of Sehnai, okay, was considering as bringing good fortune for us, for our family, and for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. As I told you that this sound can bring good fortune for us, and that's why it is played, okay, it was played in the temples as well as in North Indian wedding. In the past, the Sehnai was the part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Now in the past, the Sehnai was the Naubat or traditional ensemble. Ensemble means a traditional group. So it was considering, Sehnai was considering as a traditional instrument. Okay, and it was played in the traditional group only. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. Till recently, it was only played in temples as well as in the wedding. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan, the chapter which we are studying about. Okay, so till recently it was played only in temples and in North Indian wedding, but the credit goes to that person, okay, who had brought this instrument on the stage, on the classical stage, and that credit got Ustad Bismillah Khan. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao in Bihar. Now Dumrao is the birthplace of Ustad Bismillah Khan. So he was playing Gilli Danda. Gilli Danda is a game, okay, which is playing in the village. Okay, so here Bismillah Khan was also playing Gilli Danda in his village. He would regularly go to the nearly Biharji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita. Now, Ustad Bismillah Khan was regularly going to the temple, Biharji temple, to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita. Chaita is the name of a song, and he was singing in Bhojpuri, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. So when he had sung Chaita, at the end, okay, after finishing his song, he had got gift of 1.25 kg laddu from the local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. So this happened before 80 years, and afterwards this boy means Ustad Bismillah Khan, travelled everywhere all over the India to get the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. He was born on 21st March 1916. Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. So he was from Bihar. His grandfather Rasul Baks Khan was the Sehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur king's court. So the whole family of Bismillah Khan was musician. So his grandfather Rasul Baks Khan was working in Bhojpur king's court. His father Paigambar Baks and the other paternal ancestors were also great Sehnai players. Means the whole family of Ustad Bismillah Khan was along with the music, okay, they were Sehnai player. The young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Banaras, now Varanasi, Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Sehnai. So this young boy, Bismillah Khan, took to music early in life, means from the birth, okay, from he was 5-year-old, he was too much fascinated with the music, and when he had seen his maternal uncle, okay, he was practicing Sehnai, this boy got impressed. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Baksh to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Baksh was employed to play the Sehnai. So this Bismillah Khan was accompanying, means he was giving company to his uncle Ali Baksh, and Ali Baksh was playing Sehnai in Vishnu temple. So with Ali Baksh, Ustad Bismillah Khan was also going to the temple to see how his uncle is playing Sehnai. Ali Baksh would play the Sehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. So Ustad Bismillah Khan, he was watching his uncle when he was playing Sehnai, and he was sit captivated, means he was not thinking anything else for hours on end, means, and for many hours he can sit there to listen the sound of Sehnai. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. Now slowly he came to know how to play the Sehnai. So he started practicing throughout the day, means whole day he was practicing Sehnai. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maiya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts, where he could practice in solitude. Now slowly he started learning the Sehnai, and for years to the temple of Balaji, Mangala Maiya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice. Apprentice means a person who is under training. He was getting training in playing Sehnai. And the haunts where he could practice in solitude. Haunts means he was repeating the same practice again and again, and he was practicing in solitude. Solitude means he was practicing alone. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Sehnai. Now the flowing water of the Ganga, he was playing at the bank of Ganga. That Ganga had given inspiration to Ustad Bismillah Khan to improvise, to improve the ragas of Sehnai. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. So, when he was 14 years old, Bismillah Khan accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Faiz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard, you shall make it." So, when he was playing, when he has finished his recital, means when he has finished his work, Ustad Faiz Khan patted him and he said wonderful line to him, wonderful words to him. Work hard and you shall make it, means one day you will achieve the glories, the prosperity. So now work hard. With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. So in 1938 he had got big break. He soon became an often heard Sehnai player on radio, means now he was playing his Sehnai on radio. When India gained independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with the Sehnai. So Ustad Bismillah Khan was the first person when we were about to getting freedom, he was the person who has played Sehnai first time. So it was prosperity of him. So he was the person who has played Sehnai. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Diarist with Destiny speech. So when he was playing Sehnai, when he had played Rag Kafi to the Red Fort for the audience, at that time Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was also there, and then he has given wonderful speech. Now remember this, which Rag he has played when we had got freedom. It was Rag Kafi. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other sovereigns. The King of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Shehnai playing at a festival that he named a instrument called Gunj Uthi Shehnai. Now here, Bismillah Khan was not only playing in India, but he was also playing in abroad also. So first he has played in Afghanistan. Okay, his abroad trip was to Afghanistan, and there was a king named Zahir Shah. So he was too much fascinated with the music of Bismillah Khan, and that's why he has given priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs, means things given in a memory of a place, person or event. So that sound was too memorable, and that's why that King Zahir Shah has given many gifts to this Bismillah Khan. The king of Afghanistan was not only one to be fascinated, so only not the king, okay, not only the king, but also the film director Vijay Bhatt was also too much impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Gunj Uthi Shehnai. So not only the king, but all the people, and with all the people there was a film director called Vijay Bhatt. He was also too much impressed, and that's why seeing this instrument and after listening the sound of this Shehnai, he had given the name of his movie is Gunj Uthi Shehnai. The film was hit, and this film was too hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya. So Ustad Bismillah Khan has sung for this movie, and the name of that song is Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya. Turned out to be nationwide chartbuster. Chartbuster means record breaker. Okay, so this song was the record breaker. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two. First, Vijay Bhatt's Gunj Uthi Shehnai, and Vikram Srinivas' Kannada venture Sanadhi Appanna. So through these lines, we can come to know that he had not worked too much for movies. He had worked only for two movies, and the first one is Gunj Uthi Shehnai and the second one is Sanadhi Appanna. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of this film world, he says with emphasis. He said that I don't want to work only for the film world. Okay, he wanted to go ahead from that. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. So awards, recognitions came thick and fast. Thick and fast means he got lots of awards and recognized at many places, means he became one of the famous persons. And that's why he has also performed in United States. He also took part in the World Expositions in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival. Montreal means in Australia. And in the Cannes Art Festival and in the Osaka Trade Fair. Osaka Trade Fair is in Japan. So all over the world he has done his work. He has played Shehnai. He has given his sounds. So that was the incomparable, okay, that was something special quality of him. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahir Mausiqui Ustad Bismillah Khan. So just because of his duty, his work. Okay, Tehran, it is in Iran. Okay, so they got too much impressed, and that's why they have given name of Ustad Bismillah Khan to their auditorium. National awards like Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. Remember that how many awards he has got. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. With the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, "All I would like to say is teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn music." So after getting that highest civilian award, what he has said? He has said that teach your children music. Even the West, okay, other people, other countries' people are also coming to learn the music in our country. In spite of having travelled all over the world, Khan Sahab, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Banaras and Dumrao, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. So here, Khan Sahab means Ustad Bismillah Khan. He loved his places, Banaras and Dumrao, and that's why for him these two places are the wonderful towns of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Sehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by replicating the temples there. Now just because of his fame, okay, one of the student had said to Ustad Bismillah Khan that please you stay here in US, okay, I will recreate the atmosphere of Banaras here only for you, so please I am requesting you to stay here. Now let's go ahead what Ustad Bismillah Khan has said. But Khan Sahab asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. Okay, so that student said that I will recreate the atmosphere of Banaras. But then Khan Sahib said that can you bring Ganga here, that river bank Ganga where he was practicing Sehnai. Okay, so he was too much attached with the bank of Ganga, and that's why he asked one question that can you bring Ganga here. Later he is remembered to have said, that is why whenever I am in foreign country, I keep yearning. Yearning means longing to see Hindustan. So whenever he was in other countries, he was longing to see India. While in Mumbai, I think of only Banaras and the holy Ganga. And while in Banaras, I miss the unique Matha of Dumrao. So wherever he was going, he was missing his places. He was missing Banaras and he was missing his birthplace Dumrao. It is in Bihar. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India. So he is remembering as a cultural heritage of India. One that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Sehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. So effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim, devout means strongly believing in a religion. Ustad Bismillah Khan was a Muslim person. Till though he was a Muslim, he was playing Sehnai every day in Kashi Vishwanath temple. He was strongly believing in Muslim. He was a Muslim person, though he was playing Sehnai in the temple, and the name of the temple is Kashi Vishwanath temple. Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90 after a prolonged illness. He was given the state funeral and the government of India declared one day of national mourning. So he passed away in 2006 just because of illness, okay, and he had got a funeral, state funeral with fame, okay, with respect, and even government also had declared one day holiday in the memory of Ustad Bismillah Khan. I hope, dear students, you understood this chapter well. Thank you so much, students.